Hey everyone, my name's Danielle and this is Tango. So in today's video I want to talk about a very serious topic. This is something that's trending at the moment and it's something I need to respond to. You know, this is a pet channel and we love animals and we love our pets and we love, nature as a continuation of that, which is why I feel that this is on topic and why I should comment on it. So recently a local radio station called Algo FM here in South Africa fired one of their most famous radio presenters for speaking up against the dairy industry. Now, whether you're vegan or not, you should know that, the agriculture industry doesn't take care of the animals well. They don't treat animals well. And if you don't believe this, you can honestly just type in like dairy industry cruelty on YouTube and you'll find so many horrific videos. Or like meat industry or just anything like that. The people, they don't treat their animals well because at the end of the day, to them it's just money. Everything just revolves around money nowadays. So Daron Mann is a presenter who's worked on Radio Algoa for around 28 years, I think it was that he said. So, and he's a big deal. Like, everyone knows him. He's always on during the weekdays in the morning. So, on everyone's commute to work, they're always listening to him. He even had the radio show named after him, the Daron Mann Breakfast Show. So before I get into talking about all the details, I just want to play the short clip of what he said. I'm not going to play the whole video because that's 2.5 minutes. So just context about this. It was on a Friday morning and it was Hug a Vegetarian Day. Calm down. Calm down. So with it being Hug a Vegetarian Day, the other radio presenter, Charlton, he was kind of making a big deal out of it. Like, oh, you're a vegetarian, how are you feeling today and everything. So that's what they were talking about before. Hey, had to go put Tango down, he's not cooperating. So they were talking about Hug a Vegetarian Day. The other radio presenter, Charlton, was kind of emphasizing it a lot. Daron, you're a vegetarian, how are you feeling today? That was the conversation before this started. So here's that clip quickly. Just
right. I actually took the step, but totally vegetarian, not totally vegan.
Okay.
To my shame, I haven't been able to kick dairy yet. The dairy industry is horrific.
You're working on it.
I'm hoping to.
That's what he said. So he said he's not vegan yet. He wants to be. And the dairy industry is horrific. That's all he said. Just in general, it's just a statement to no one in particular. And I'm sure with most people, that statement kind of just went over their head. He was just explaining why he does want to go vegan. So there was that. That's what he said. Then there came this news article called Hug the DJ, Algoa's Daron is put on ice. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but so one of the lines here is, he also made a mention of the cruelty in the meat industry. These words riled a local milk producer which contacted Mann's bosses. According to a staff member who did not want to be named, the dairy had pulled advertisements because of the comments. Algo FM managing director disputed this but confirmed the client had not been too happy. So now they've got a client pulling adverts. Obviously it's costing Algo FM money, and that's where the scandal starts. And this news article is what brought the situation to light. Then Algo FM spoke to Daron Mann himself and they spoke about it and he got fired. So from that article I'm going to read another article by Channel 24 or just a section of it. And it says the reason that Daron Mann is no longer engaged by Algo FM is due to a material breach of his obligation to conduct himself in a professional and responsible manner. Okay, the information broadcast by Daron Mann was not substantiated by him with references of fact, nor was it balanced as required by the Code of Conduct. Okay, but this wasn't a debate about the dairy industry or other things. He just said it as a passing by statement. If everyone has to give facts and back up every single thing they say, then what kind of what kind of world would we live in? The directing manager of Algo FM then went to say, I confirm that the decision taken by Algo FM had nothing to do with our client's complaint and was solely a matter between Algo FM and Daron Mann. Algo FM respects entirely that people hold individual points of view. However, the expression of a point of view has the actual and/or potential consequences of undermining the legitimate and equally important interests of another. So, they can say it wasn't because of the dairy's complaint, but it was. If they hadn't brought it up, no one would have taken notice of it. And just like that, a man who has dedicated almost 3 decades of his life to a job, it's just gone. No word of it. Never got to have an official goodbye on air, and that's just it. A lot of people aren't happy about this, and rightfully so. He was just simply stating his reasoning for wanting to be a vegan. That's his evidence about him wanting to be vegan. Like, you know, they don't have 10 minutes to now, in between the songs, start talking about all this. That's not what it was about. So I don't think it's fair for Algo FM to say, well, he didn't have his facts or whatever. Also, he wasn't mentioning any names. He wasn't talking about anyone in specific. He was just talking globally and in general. A lot of people have chosen to just not listen to Algo FM again and not support the dairy company, it came out that it was Woodlands Dairy that filed the complaint. And they made a Facebook post saying that they had nothing to do with him being fired. They just laid the complaint, which had everything to do with him being fired, but okay. Algo FM is also a huge supporter of the Big War for Cancer that happens, I think it's happening now at the end of October. Super big deal. This walk, they've been talking about it for months. And one of the people one of the companies that was sponsoring this walk, but after this has all happened, they've decided they're not going to support Algo FM anymore. And so their Algo FM just lost more money, they've lost more supporters. This thing is just a mess. A lot of people were planning a protest at the Big Walk for Cancer, or I think there was another protest supposed to be happening somewhere else. But Daron Mann actually gave a statement out himself saying that he's kind of traumatized enough by this whole situation, and he asked everyone that they just let it die down. You know, he didn't want he didn't want all the drama to continue. So everyone respected his wishes and cancelled that protest and everything, but it's still a mess, and I do think that the people want to stand up for him and stand up for what he was saying, because he's not wrong. And if the dairy industries in South Africa want to go and prove that he's wrong, be our guest. Show us how you treat your animals. Show us that they get handled nicely on a daily basis and that they get the nutrition that they need. And I mean, it's mainly about how they get handled and how it's all about money, and it's not an animal, you know, it's almost like it's a piece of equipment, you know. That's how agriculture is with livestock. So that's what's happened, and I think it's a very important thing to bring up, because it's not just about the dairy industry and being a vegan and, you know, animal rights and that thing. It's also just about freedom of speech. It was not hate speech, it was not attacking anyone, it was just a passing by sentence. And it's also, you know, talking about how businesses don't value their employees anymore, and even the people who have worked for them for decades and who had, I mean, lots of people were saying how he was kind of the life of Algo FM. So I'd love to hear your take on this and hear your opinions about it. If you could please leave that in the comments, because I think it's just madness. It's someone who was, in a way, he was like standing up for animals and animal rights and that, by just saying that he is vegetarian and he does want to go vegan. They're carrying on like he did some form of hate speech. And you know, a lot of people were bringing up also how we have a very infamous certain someone who threatens to kill an entire race on national TV. No repercussions of that. But then there's just someone who says that they want to go vegan because the dairy industry is bad, and then they get fired. And you can just imagine a radio presenter, it's going to be kind of difficult to get a job after that. I mean, obviously he was a very well respected guy, but it's not just jobs lying around everywhere, okay, no matter what field you're in. In conclusion, a small statement was made, and Algo FM just overreacted. Woodlands Dairy overreacted. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things like, Woodlands, no one cares about you. It's not all about you. You just made a statement. You don't need to go be personally offended like some kind of victim on the internet. So let me know if you think that, as a radio presenter, that he was overstepping and he shouldn't have said that, or if it was just a simple statement and nothing should have come from it. I will leave some links in the description to some articles, or maybe I can link a video to the clip of the whole conversation that happened, so you can go listen to that and read up about that further if you want. So thank you so much for listening to me today. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!